Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sakagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sakagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangu langayate girim Kripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Deenatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanyameshwaram Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, that tabla column one you can please share with us.
Yeah, I'll share. See, last class I didn't share because it was still not completed fully. So now
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So now today what we're going to do is 36. We want to read 1.8.36. Then we're also going to read. Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay. So let's go back. Huh? Read where we did. Sloka. Notice. Now, which sloka that we read last time? Of course, that. So I think this one only. Kali surrendered is what we read. Yeah. Okay. So, okay, now, last class we shared, we did sort of an exercise on the Excel worksheet. We came to a conclusion of, how Kali influences, how Maya influences, how we get trapped in this material world for time immemorial. Okay. Is that clear with everyone or anyone has doubts in that? What we discussed on the Excel sheets? Or do you want me to share it to recap it?
We can recap it, Prabhu, once again for everyone's benefit.
So I'm able to share this now. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Are you able to all see it?
Yes, Prabhu.
So,
Yes, Prabhu.
so in this we see religiosity, the four principles of religiosity, according to Vedic injunctions, are disturbed by certain acts. And what is the role of Kali? To break religiosity. Okay, why she wants to break religion? Why he wants to break religiosity? You should understand very clearly. Religiosity is a means or methods for one to connect with the Lord. Okay? So, what does a good religion preach? A good religion preaches how one should love his creator. Huh? How one should love his creator is what religion preaches. There are higher religion and there are lower religion. Right? So today what we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam and then practicing Vaishnavism is the topmost, highest most religion. Why? Because it preaches the methods to how to love your creator. So that's why it's considered to be the topmost. But there are lower religions. Just like how you have a highly educated class and lower educated class where they can understand subject matters very nicely. So similarly, the highest aspect of religion vanquishes all material thoughts, vanquishes all impersonal ideologies, vanquishes any other yoga process that directly does not link in service of the Supreme Lord. So that's what the highest religion, and the highest religion is personified as Srimad Bhagavatam. So that's what it gives. So now, if you take lower religions, they do not teach this directly. So first step is what? Hey, if I tell you the qualities of Brahminical life, and if I tell you these are the highest principles of one's divine life, they cannot take it because it's too much for them. Because of the Sudra mentality they possess. So hence, Bhagavatam comes up, sorry, not Bhagavatam, Veda Shastra gives that lower forms of religion be manifested, where they will teach, okay, be good, come to the platform of Sattvic, there is something called God and there is something called God consciousness. So they teach the basics of philanthropy. But they become stepping stones to next higher religion. That's the point. In fact, Prabhupada tells in his lecture that these lower forms of religions, if someone practices, the maximum they can reach is the Swargaloka or maybe the sun planet. That is, if you practice that religion perfectly. You see, you're still in the material world. You're not still getting liberated. So that is an important aspect to understand the purpose of religion. So now, what is Kali Purusha doing? Kali Purusha is trying to invoke activities or thoughts in the minds of people where they can involve in certain activities by breaking that religious methods and principles. So that means their opportunity to get out of this clutches of this Maya or this material world is lost. They have to be again born. They will have to enjoy the reactions of those karmic works they did, and they will continue to suffer in this material world. Birth after birth, body after body, millenniums after millenniums. So this is the actual activity of Kali. Okay? So now as devotees, what do? We do actions that will enhance our religiosity. Right? Varnashrama Dharma, it is enhancing our religiosity. What does Varnashrama Dharma do? He says there are prohibitions based on certain age factors, and you're supposed to do only these activities. So, for example, from the age of 0 to 25, you're a Brahmana, you're Brahmachari. Brahmachari means you're a single. And what you should involve yourself in? You should involve in acquiring Shastric knowledge, because that's the purpose. And not every brahmachari can become a sannyasi because of, Prabhupada says that anyone who's born in this material world, starting from your skin or your hair or any of the sense organs, whether it is sense organs or knowledge acquiring senses, or whatever it may be, they will need gratification. So it cannot be stopped. Material world means gratification, sense gratification. And we are all born with material bodies and in the material world. So Prabhupada says it's very difficult to practice life of celibacy, that is like a sannyasi, that is renounce order of life. And hence, the religiosity itself as principles has brought in the arrangement of grahastha life, that means family life. So in family life, what one does, he does, very careful dealing. He practices devotion life, and he has restriction on the sense gratification he practices. So that means, even though senses are present, but we are controlling the senses not to deviate beyond the boundary conditions. When the senses do not deviate beyond the boundary conditions, Shastra in one manner says it is also akarma. It is not karma, it is akarma. Right? So, this is the method of system that has been evolved so that people can practice, become God conscious, remember and go back home back to God. It is very important. Okay, so now what Kali does exactly opposite of this. Is trying to kill our religiosity. Now, why Kali became very powerful? We will see that in Parikshit Maharaj's conversation today. Now, today, if you see in this world, every activity, for example, even take sports. Sports is a gamble today. Sports is not about. Do you all know how evolution of sports came? So first sports came in Greece. Okay. So that is where the first Olympics came. Now, how did they create sports? Do you know that? Anyone knows how sports came into existence?
No, Prabhu. No idea.
No one knows? Okay. So, when the Greeks, they were ruling the country, they wanted to do certain activities, and which was causing disturbance to the kingdom. That is, people didn't accept. Hey, what are you doing? Nonsense. We don't accept. So they started to revolt. They didn't know how to stop their rebellious attitude. There was no God consciousness. They somehow want to control the kingsmen because they were all used like slavery in getting the work done. They were building palaces, they were building many things, and they want to make these people work hard and doing all these things. So, in order to break that monotonous thought, they introduced certain sports. The first set of sports that were introduced were the strong men would come and fight like a bloodthirsty wrestling. And one will get killed, one will survive. And they made like an arena and said, okay, you can come and watch this. Right? So whenever there were disturbance in the society and it was going uncontrollable, they would call it as a days of sports, 10 days, 15 days like that. And they would use many animals and men in order to perform, what do you say, acrobatic acts. And they would perform these sports. And it deviated people's thought. And that's how sports evolved. Okay? So sports, you see, is actually not religiosity by any means. And it is beyond sense gratification. It is actually, Prabhupada classifies sports as gambling directly. And today, what is happening? Truth, right? You see what's happening in cricket today? Everything's about betting. It's about money involvement, crazy money involvement. Sports. So that's what it is evolved to. So you see, if you go through the detailing, every activity in this material world is all connected to enjoying the senses. They are not for any other good aspects. So, Kali will be present in all these places. And it promotes. When it promotes, it allures people. When it allures people, what happens? Instead of being God conscious, one moves towards material consciousness. The more and more material consciousness he moves, then more and more he falls prey to curry. That's the point. So that's why, you know, in our devotional life, why we say stay away from these sports activities, dangerous activities, material mundane activities. Why? Because it's not that you should not do sense gratification. There are many other ways to sense gratification. But these methods, they drag you into that system. That is the problem. Okay. So what Prabhupada said, for devotees, the best sense gratification is prasadam. Okay. So he said, you should make nice varieties of prasadam and have. That's sense gratification, right? And the introductions of bhajans is also sense gratification. Introduction of yatra is also sense gratification, but it is on the spiritual plane. So it is fine, right? So Prabhupada said festivals are great. Why? Because one, lot of people will come together. They will perform great acts of service to the Lord for the pleasure of the Lordships. But in the process, they will also sense gratify themselves with nice prasadam, with nice association, with all these things. So you see, the purpose of festivals, how it comes into our life, right? So devotees who realize this, they also sense gratify in this manner. So that way you see, they are not falling prey to Kali and Kali's activities. Okay. So in this context, what we will do is we'll read two slokas, and you can also mug up. Many of you might know these slokas also, but you can mug up also, and we will do this. Okay. So what Krishna says? Krishna says this sloka is very beautiful. This is from the Purana. He says, Naham tishtami vaikunte yoginam hridayeshu va tatra tishtami narada yatra gayanti mat bhaktaha. We'll read the purports of this. My dear Narada, actually I do not reside in my abode. What is abode? Vaikuntha planets. Nor I reside in the heart of the yogis. Who are the yogis? Who are sitting in the secluded places and then, just trying to meditate upon him through certain yoga process. But where does he reside? He resides in that place where my pure devotees chant my holy name, discuss my form, my pastimes, and qualities. Where does the Lord reside? The Lord does not reside in the place of the yogis. The Lord does not reside in Vaikuntha. Wherever there is Sankirtan, wherever devotees chant the holy name, we japa Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. We read in this pastime, when Raghunath Das Goswami was chanting the Hare Krishna mantra with deep meditation, who came? Srimati Radharani, she herself came. And she sheltered Raghunath Das Goswami. Sanatana Goswami chastised him. Hey, you're taking service from Radharani. How is it correct? But that's fact. So, when we chant sincerely, when we chant nicely, for the pleasure of their lordships, who comes? The Lord comes, he says, he declares here, I reside in that place where my pure devotees chant my holy name. Okay? Then he says, discuss my form. Right? We say, no, oh Krishna, you wear pitambar. You wear very beautiful anklets. Oh Krishna, your nabi is so beautiful that the lotus flower sprouts out of it. Oh Krishna, the Sri Vatsa which is in your heart, Lakshmi ji resides there. It is because it's full of opulence. The garland that you wear is so wonderful. You are bluish, grayish in color. You're so attractive. And Prabhupada says that if you take any woman or man who's considered to be the most beautiful in this entire creation, including the Apsaras, right? You will see some blemishes in their body. Some blemishes means some marks or some deformation, some defect. But in Krishna, you see, there will be free of any blemishes and faults in the creation, in the body of the Lord. That's the beauty. And it is so attractive. When ordinary women or a man in the material world, passes by, they cause attraction to us. Now imagine the Lord. That's what we recite now every day in Govinda Madi Purusham. Kandarpakoti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Says crores of Kandarpa comes also, they don't match the beauty. So that's the beauty of the Lord. So we discussed that. What do? They get attracted, they discuss that form, they again and again meditate on that form. Pastimes and qualities, right? So qualities are unlimited. Unlimited qualities of the Lord. You can take every quality of the Lord and discuss about that quality and how one should follow those qualities. Pastimes are unlimited pastimes. Srimad Bhagavatam is full of those pastimes. Chaitanya Bhagavat is full of those pastimes. Chaitanya Charitamrita is full of those pastimes. So reading that again and again gives us the great benediction. What benediction? Krishna says, let me recite again. I reside in that place where my pure devotees chant. I reside, I live. Where Krishna lives, wherever there is Sankirtan, wherever there is discussion about the Lord, Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela, wherever these discussions are done, the Lord resides there. And he says, when my pure devotees, what is pure devotees? The sloka that defines what is pure devotion. Anna Bilashita Shunnam, Jnana Karmadi, Anavritam. You cannot have devotion which is mixed with karma. What does mixed with karma means? Oh, some benefit. If I do this, I'll get that benefit. Or jnana. Jnana karmadi anavritam. So, the tinge of influence of karma, karmic activities, the tinge of influence of jnana and jnana activities should not be there in pure devotion. So, when we practice devotion, we should strive to make it purer and purer and purer at all points in time. When my pure devotees chant the holy name and discuss my form, it's not ordinary devotees or all devotees. No, pure devotees. So we shall strive to become pure. Prabhupada says purity is by force. What is purity by force? Excellent sadhana. Ensure that always we remember the Lord. Keep our thoughts clean. The thoughts should be without lust. The thought should be without enviness. The thought should be without hatred. No hankering, no lamentation. These are all the forces of purity. When the negativity is removed, there is a voidism, there is a gap. How do we fill that? We fill that with Srimad Bhagavatam. We fill with that pastimes of the Lord in that place. We fill that with slokas that glorify the Lord straight away. Arjuna says, Param Brahma, Param Dhamma. Everything says Param, 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 Param. He says, Vijayate, Vijayate, Vijayate. All glories, glories, victory, victory, victory. So when we fill with that, then what happens? We become pure in our practices. That purity will make us to become pure devotees. That is what it says. Okay? Now, so please try to mug up the sloka. Let us read this once again. Naham tishtami vaikunte yoginam hridayeshu va tatra tishtami narada yatra gayanti mat bhaktaha. Right? So please mug up this sloka. Very important. You can quote this in your preaching. Okay. Next, I want you to introduce to this sloka. We've already covered this sloka in our Srimad Bhagavatam classes, but we want to recite this because we are now talking about how can we avoid Kali.
Prabhu, what is the verse number, Prabhu?
No, this verse, this Nagam Tistami is not from Srimad Bhagavatam, it is from the Puranas. So they quoted. So for example, if you take the verse number 4.30.35, in that purport, Prabhupada writes.
Okay.
So if you want, you can note down this sloka, 4.30.35.
Thank you.
Okay. Now let me come here. This sloka is from 1.8.36. We have gone through this in our previous classes, but we're going to recite this again. We're going to see into the detail. Shrinvanti gayanti grinanti abhikshana smaranti nandanti tavehitam janaha tayeva pashyanti achirena tavakam bhava pravoha paramam padambujam. So let's see the translation. O Krishna, those who continually hear, chant, and repeat your transcendental activities or take pleasure in others doing so, both. Okay, let's repeat this. Okay. O Krishna, Those who continuous is a key. What does continuously means? Every day. Every day hearing, every day chanting, and every day repeat your transcendental activities. Huh? How did the Gopakumaras and the Gopis live their life? Every day they described the activities of Lord Krishna. They described each other. They discussed. Because they did the discussion, what happened? Whether Arishtasura came or Pralambasura came, it did not affect them. It just like a passing cloud. It came and went away. Krishna protected. Right? So, material anxieties will cause disturbance to us. Material tribulations will put us into trouble. People will be born, people will die. Events will come, events will go. Money will come, money will go. Nothing should shake us. We just go on reading, go on discussing the subject matter of the transcendental activities of the Lord. This is very important for our life. Then what happens? We have crossed the material tribulations and we've gone above it. That is the glory of a devotee. For a devotee does not mean material will affect them, will not affect them. That is not the point. Whether the material event happens or not, it does not affect them is the glory of a devotee. The consciousness is always stable. Right? So that's what the meaning of word continuous means. So what do you do? Those who continuously hear Shravanam, hear what? Hear activities of the Lord, chant activities of the Lord, repeat your transcendental activities, repeat again. It is not that I heard Bhagavatam once, oh, I know the Putana story, why should I sit in Srimad Bhagavatam class again? No. Repeat your transcendental activities. So that is one performing in their own life. Similarly, if someone else is doing, when a Vaishnava sees that, he takes pleasure. He takes pleasure in others doing so also. Two devotees. One devotee is a senior, one devotee is junior. The senior is giving class. Okay, the junior heard. The next week, the junior is going to give class. What should be the mode of the senior? Senior should be very happy. Oh, see, after all our training, this person is giving class. And what a wonderful class he is giving. So, let us hear. Many sannyasis in our ISKCON movement now, if you see, they will always give classes. Sometimes they will ask their disciples, okay, you give class. And when they give class, it's not the sannyasi will go away. He will sit and hear from him. That is the glory.
So, it's been covered and we listen to Radhesham Prabhu.
Yeah. So Gandharvika is saying that once Radhesham Prabhu was giving class and Radha Swami Maharaj came, covered his face and like that, and he sat in the class and he heard him. Right? So, you see, they take pleasure in others doing so. Certainly see your lotus feet. When you do such an act, they see your lotus feet. Okay? Imagine seeing the lotus feet of the Lord. When we see, we are just seeing the stone and the picture and things like that. That is because of our anarthas, because of our impurity. But the pure devotion see the real lotus feet of the Lord, which alone can stop the repetition of birth and death. Right? So, very important. These are the acts that needs to be performed for devotion service. What acts is promoted by Kali should never be part of our life in any capacity. So one should stay away. Okay? Any questions, thoughts, and so far what we discussed?
Prabhu, can you repeat about that? The forces of purity, Prabhu. What are the things that is like pure sadhana?
See, so one should become pure in order to go to higher realms of transcendental devotional service. Okay? So the first levels of purity is your sadhana. Okay? Sadhana consists of ABCD. What are the four things of ABCD? Association with devotees. Very important. Always we should associate with devotees. When we say association with devotees, means we should not associate with non-devotees. Okay, that's what association. Then B. What is B? Regularly book reading must be done. How book reading should be done? You can read alone, but the right method is to read together. That's why study classes are so powerful. Very important, right? So the second is book reading. Third is chanting the holy name as much as possible. But in the chanting the holy name, there are two aspects. One is people are worried about number of rounds of chanting. Oh, I finished 32. I finished 24 today. I finished 32. Okay, which is good. But qualitative chanting is important. Even if you do qualitatively 16 rounds properly, you heard, you chanted. You recited those words by seeing Harinam Prabhu. Harinam Prabhu is a person. By seeing those words, you repeated. So, seeing, hearing, chanting. So, when these are done in a very systematic manner, chanting becomes pure. Right? So, C is for chanting. D is deity worship. Okay? Or you can also devotees prasadam, deities prasadam. Okay? So, when we do these things, we slowly acquire purity. And how long you have to do? You have to repetitively, continuously. Right? So, this gives you purity. Now, these are one aspects of sadhana. Okay, so sadhana is composed of 4 ABCD. Okay, great. The next, after doing sadhana, you should also mentally prepare to follow Brahminical qualities in our thought process. Okay. Now, for example, one aspect is, let's say, arjavam, titikshvam, saucham. So these are Brahminical qualities that should be maintained in our life. We cannot say, Prabhu, I have chanted, so I will be unclean. I will not take bath. You cannot say that I will not clean the altar just like that, I'll keep everything dirty manner. No, you can't do that. Huh? So, Brahminical qualities must be followed for the purity. So, for example, Prabhupada says, one should cut his hair, one should cut his nails, one should take bath by chanting invoking the mantra for inviting all the rivers. So these are very important. You cannot go to unfilthy places. You cannot touch all these things. You should remain pure. So external purity, internal purity, both needs to be achieved. Like that, enthusiasm in performing devotion service. We always get tired. Okay, oh, how much to do, Prabhu? So we should distribute. We should cooperate among ourselves and perform our activities. Right? Then tolerance. So like that we should demonstrate. So one is sadhana, another is sadachar. Right? We should demonstrate qualities and attributes of Brahminical nature. We cannot say, oh Prabhu, I did for fantastic sadhana, but I'll shout at people, misbehave. We cannot do that. I mean, we are contradicting in our wants. Right? So when we do these things, purity evolves in us. Purity in our consciousness evolves. And that purity is what makes one to go higher and higher, be able to chant better, be able to attract people, be able to head organizations. It's not so easy. Is that helps, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay.
Prabhu, I have one question, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
You mentioned wrestling is material, irreligion, no, Prabhu. So when
What is a religion?
wrestling, Prabhu,
Sports as such.
sport activities is considered material, irreligion. But now when Dronacharya was teaching the Pandavas and Kauravas, so in what this thing we have to consider that?
Okay, there the guru is training. Okay, the guru is training to enable people how to be successful in a war field.
Okay, Prabhu.
That is not sports. Sports means to play for our pleasure, for sense gratification. Okay. In sports, in the real sports, which is acceptable sports, there is no victory for someone, and there is no loser of someone. The best example Prabhupada quotes is the Gopakumaras. Okay, so Krishna is fighting with, I think he's fighting with Sudama. No, he's fighting with. Okay, he's fighting with one of the Gopakumaras, who Krishna. Okay,
Yes,
at
Prabhu.
the time, it's a wrestling fight going on. So at the time, no one is able to win. Krishna is not able to win. The Gopakumar is also not able to win. Okay, I think it's Sridham. Okay, so Sridham is now commenting Krishna. Hey, what man you are? You killed the great Bakasura. You're able to kill Pralambasura. Such a strong people, but you're not able to defeat me. What sort of strength you have? He comments on Krishna. Okay, so Krishna laughs.
Mm.
Now, why is Krishna laughing? Krishna does not want that Gopakumara get defeated.
Correct, Prabhu.
You get the point?
Yes, Prabhu.
It is not that Krishna cannot defeat him.
Mm.
He does not want that Gopakumara to lose that wrestling match. Okay, so there's a running race, right? So 6 of them they run. All the 6 Gopakumaras they run. Very high speed they run. And eventually one will win, right? So that one person wins the race. But all the 5 people who lost the race, they're jumping in joy that one person won the match.
Okay,
Have
Prabhu.
you ever seen something like that in the material world?
No. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare
In,
Krishna.
in the race,
Mm.
person who's winning, the all other 5 are devising methods how to defeat him,
Mm.
how to cheat him,
Okay.
how to pay money to the umpire to whistle blow in the wrong manner.
Mm.
See, that is material world. In the spiritual world, the 5 people are jumping in joy to see that one person becoming victorious.
So
Right?
this should be our mode now, Prabhu, in Krishna consciousness.
Yeah, this should be more than Krishna conscious.
Thank you so much,
Watch
Prabhu.
our sports today.
Mm.
Huh? In Mayapur, at least those days, I don't know about off late. So, for example, Janina's brother he
Pankajangri.
left the body, right?
Mm.
So now what happened? Pankaj Angri was unwell, and then people knew that he's going to leave the body. So they brought him to the temple hall, Mayapur, Chandrodaya Mandir main temple hall. He saw the deities, he saw the aartis, heard the kirtan, he left the body. When he left the body, it is not the devotees who are sitting and crying, oh, Pankaj, you left, what will I do? Like that, they did not cry. They were all in joy, happiness. Why? One among us went back home, back to Godhead.
Okay, okay.
You
Yes,
get the point?
yes, Prabhu.
Of course, we also have the song Jai Nilo Prema Dana, where out of sadness we are singing. But that is post. In that, what happened? Hey, you know what? When you were there, we were together practicing Krishna conscious. We were helping each other in remembering the Lord and activities. So it was wonderful. No, you are not there. Who will make me to remember the acharyas? Who will make me to remember the slokas that is referring to the Lord? What will happen to me? I'm alone. So like that, he's crying. He's crying that your association was so golden, now it is lost.
No. Okay.
Right? So this is the mood. This is the mood of Vaishnavism. Real Vaishnavism.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay.
Hare
Okay.
Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.
Related to sports itself, Prabhu, just wanted one clarification, or how do we guide, like for example, the new generation, like who are making the sports as a career, right? So what should we guidance that we give it to them, or how should we look into that?
Um,
Maybe sports directly, or maybe involved in any sports-based occupation.
Sports based occupation. Yeah. It's a very tough call, a tough question that you're asking. So, the children must be educated about the dangers of sports today, right?
Hmm.
Because when sports becomes popular, money involvement becomes very high. One, money becomes involved very high, then it turns into power. You see celebrities, you see political parties, you see big businessmen, they all want their share, their pie of it, right? So they try to drag in the direction they want, and people get caught in that web. That's what is happening to cricket today. What was cricket 25 years back and what is today? Complete transformation.
Hmm.
You can see for yourself, right? The same in tennis. You see in volleyball, football. Too much it has become, right? So it's difficult for someone to stay pure even after going into sports and sports aspiration. It's like a cobweb, Prabhu. You get caught, you get caught. It's difficult to come out of it. So if someone practices Vaishnavism or spiritual life, he may do some sports activities, but he may not make that as a career.
Okay.
He will probably come out of it. But people who are strong in their material desires, they may continue to, involve and participate more and more in it. So I don't have a concrete answer, but sport is a dangerous thing.
But Prabhu, see, other
Like-
thing also, you gave examples of how the sports is played in Vrindavan, Krishna and Krishna friends and all.
Huh.
There, even here also, like sports also is similar to any other occupation wherein you can just perform without expecting any results and going forward. Prabhu, how do I differentiate between the,
Correct. See, have you seen a whirlwind, Prabhu?
yeah,
See, what happens, even though whirlwind is happening around, if you see it from a distance, let's say half kilometer away, a quarter kilometer away also, you will see it, but you will not be impacted.
correct.
But once you go near the whirlwind, it sucks you off.
Hmm.
And you're part of it now. So that is the issue with the sports as such in the today's scenario.
Okay.
Okay. So, it's a very sensitive call to how do you want to play it, but you will get sucked into it.
Okay. Good.
It's a matter of time.
Hmm.
So that's the issue, Prabhu.
Okay. Prabhu. Yeah, understood. Thanks.
I don't have an answer as to how one can shield himself but still play sports. That I don't have an answer. Maybe
I'll
we should
give
ask
you
some,
one
see.
example, Prabhu. Sorry to add.
Yeah, no problem.
So, the Gukesh who won the world championship recently,
Yeah,
he follows all the religious things very nicely, Prabhuji.
great.
So, but still, whatever you said was happening, pulling into the whirlwind, right? He
Yeah.
was pulled into ads which is not, does not make sense.
Yeah.
It's like that, they pull and they actually drag and they go to the other extent also.
Okay. So now, okay, good example you take now. So we'll take that as an example. So now let's, for devotees who are preachers, okay? Prabhu, as preachers, you'll go to many places where people want Krishna consciousness and you will going to give them. But what are you doing? You're not associating with devotees. You're associating with non-devotees. It could be some influential people or students or women or any forums it may be. You're associating with them, not with devotees. That means, you see, they may glorify you at the end of the program, or some women may become closer to you, or they may pay you a lot of money. If you fall for it, you will see your practice of devotional service will get disturbed a lot, or you may even stop practice of devotional service because you'll go into that. Okay, so what devotees do? They do two things. First, they hold their sadhana very strong. They'll chant nicely, they'll read Bhagavatham books, and they'll keep this sadhana strong. That sadhana, what does it do? It protects one from the influence of material activities.
Okay.
Okay, now let's apply the same rule with Gukesh now. In Gukesh case, what happens? He is not practicing any KC that I know. Okay. He may be practicing something, some sort of religiosity taught by the parents or whatever he learned in school or something like that. He may be practicing that much, but that will not be giving him enough strength to face the allurements of Maya.
Correct.
Now, initially, he may control, but as the influence keeps going up,
True. Yeah.
he'll fall for it.
Yeah. Makes sense, Prabhu.
So that he won't even know he's falling for it.
Hmm.
That is the beauty. The people who committing sinful activities don't even know that they are doing it. And
Hmm.
the way Maya does it, the Maya makes you to conclude that whatever you're doing is correct.
Hmm.
That's the beauty of Maya.
Hmm.
Hmm? So that's why that association is very important. What does association do? If we fall down for some reason, see, all of us are vulnerable to fall down. That's the danger of this place. Let's say if I fall down, but I'm associated with devotees, what happens? The devotees will hold me.
Hmm.
Oh, what you're doing is not correct. See, this will cause ill effects. See what's happening to you. Then there'll be a shake on my thought process, then I'll come out of it. So, power of association.
So whenever somebody points out any mistakes on us, like devotees, we should actually start accepting it and rectifying it rather than telling, "Oh, I'm already practicing." This should be not our mode.
Prabhu, I will quote at least 100 pastimes from Bhagavatam. Okay. Every act of it. Do you know who's the inspiration in the heart?
Oh, bro.
The Paramatma.
Yeah.
Okay. Prabhupada writes, everywhere he writes. He says that Chitraketu laughed at Mother Parvati when she was sitting on the lap of Lord Shiva. Right? So Parvati got very wild. So when Chitraketu came down, what did Parvati do? She cursed him.
Hmm.
Now Prabhupada writes, Parvati did not curse. Prabhupada writes, inspired by the Paramatma, where
Hmm.
Vishnu is residing the heart of Parvati as Paramatma,
Hmm.
she cursed Chitraketu. Prabhupada writes like that.
Okay.
Now you see, is Parvati cursing or Lord is enacting that? Now the Lord is enacting that. Why Lord is enacting that? Because he wants a greater outcome in the life of Chitraketu Maharaj.
Hmm.
You got the point, Prabhu?
Yeah,
Same
bro.
in the pastimes of even the last chapter, in the same chapter we read now ahead. What did we read? The Dhara and Dharani, they're having conversation, Parikshit Maharaj. Parikshit Maharaj is asking, what is the cause of your moroseness? Why are you dull? Why are you sad? Why are you crying? What did she say? Who is the cause of you that you are suffering so much? You tell me, I'll kill him. Parikshit Maharaj is telling. What did Dhara tell? I don't know who's the cause because I cannot pinpoint Kali. He says, right? You take the pastimes of Gajendra Moksha, right? Indradumna Maharaj was just meditating. He did not do anything wrong. But Agastya, when he came, he said, oh, you are not giving me respect. Your careless attitude has disturbed me. And hence I curse you that you become an elephant. Because what does an elephant do? Elephant is like big and then it is slow. So like that you are.
Conscious.
So now, Prabhupada writes, inspired by the
Paramatma.
Lord who is sitting as Paramatma, the heart of the Rishi, he cursed him. So that means what? The Lord wants this pastime of Gajendra Moksha to happen because that can be delivered to the people who are in such thoughts and consciousness. So there's a greater outcome.
Hmm. Okay.
So similarly, when an act of difficulty happens to us by another devotee, it's inspired by the Lord.
Paramatma.
The level of inspiration can be lower or higher, depends on the purity of the devotee. But
Hmm.
you can see the hands of the Lord in everything that happens in our life.
Wonderful. Very nice.
Okay? So, a person with knowledge, a person with full knowledge knows this and hence he does not get disturbed.
Hmm. Very
Okay.
nice, Prabhu.
So
Very
what
nice.
we can do, we can only offer praise to the Lord. Oh Lord, this has happened. I was not able to think that you are the cause of. That's why Krishna is called Sarva Karana Karanam. Okay, now that you asked, let's go to the sloka number 1.1. I'm going to share that now. Okay, let's read 1.1. Very beautiful Lakshmi Prabhupada gives. Okay, so I'll just type 1.1. 1.1.1. Yes. Okay. So you see, this is the first sloka. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Janmadi Ashyato Anyavat Itaratas Chartes Abhijana Swarat. Tene Brahma Hridayadi Kavaye Muyanti Nasurya. Tejo Vari Mridam Yato Vimayo Yattati Sargo Amarsha. Dhamna Svena Sada Nirasta Kuhakam Satyam Param Dhimahi. This is a sloka, very beautiful sloka. All of us should mug up this sloka. Okay. Now look at this. Look at this sloka. I'm going to read that specific part. Okay, you see here. I offer my respectful obeisance unto you. I meditate upon Lord Sri Krishna because he is absolute truth. And the primeval, see the first primeval, look at this word. He uses the word primeval. What's primeval? First and foremost. Cause of all causes. What sort of all causes? Whether it's creation, whether it's sustenance, destruction of this manifested universe. Okay? That means he's the cause. Anything that happens, he's the cause. That cause can be directly or indirectly. No, he says that also. He's directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestation. That means what? So, for example, you may say that my teacher instructed me, but Krishna instructed the teacher. And hence the teacher instructed me. So, in this scenario, Krishna instructed me indirectly. Okay. Now, Krishna manifested in my heart while I was doing my japa. He told him, hey, this is what it is. So that means Krishna instructed me directly. Okay. So now in Bhagavatam, you will see many pastimes with Pandavas. Krishna is manifesting personally and he's instructing Pandavas. Those are directly Lord is connecting. But with many of them, Lord is connecting through the Paramatma feature and telling him what to do. So he's indirectly connecting. That means Lord is aware of everything that is happening in this material world directly or indirectly. And is influencing directly or indirectly. How? According to the consciousness, according to our desire. That's the point.
Very nice, Prabhu. If you see the situations like this, then we never get disturbed in whatever situation we are.
Whatever it may be, how does it matter? Krishna is the protector of all of us, Prabhu. We think I am the protector of my child. But for example, let's say, a father is a protector of the child, which is true. But let's say the father die. You think the child dies?
Oh, no, still protected by the Lord.
Still protected by the Lord. That's how you see somehow the situation becomes favorable that the child sails through and become an adult and lead successful life. Right?
Yeah, Prabhu.
Naradaji, example, what happened Naradaji? No father. Mother also died because of snake bit the mother. Naradaji was alone. Did Naradaji die? Did he crumble into pieces? No. The Lord took care of him. Like that, you see, for every living entity, whether it is human being or non-human being, Krishna is the caretaker. He will care according to one's level of consciousness. If it's Krishna conscious, his care is different. If it's non-Krishna conscious, his care is according to his karmic reactions. That's it. This is what we have to understand. If we meditate upon this, then we'll not be bothered about anything in our life. We go on practicing our devotion service.
But Prabhu, even after we knowing that it is to happen, we shed tears. Is it because of...
Correct. It is okay. That is the compassionate nature of your heart, Mataji.
Yes.
If your heart is hard like steel, you will never shed tears. And one of the quality of a Brahminical quality is being compassionate to others. Right? Arjuna heard the Bhagavad Gita and he said, okay, Krishna, I'm ready to fight this war. I'll kill all the opponents. He killed crores of people. But when his own son died, he cried. Huh? You see the same Arjuna who's just killing his own Pitamaha, his cousins, everyone in the battlefield, just like that with his weapons. He cried for his son so deeply. Compassion. We need to be duty bound. We need to be compassionate. Both needs to be there. That's the quality of devotion. Does it answer you, Mataji?
Yes, yes, Prabhu, because I was just in the recent situation, I was just thinking, I was very strong. That has to happen. She has to go back. All that was there. But the tears were rolling down.
Which is very good. No, it tells the compassionate nature of yours.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Okay.
Hare
So,
Krishna Prabhu, just
Yes,
one
ma'am.
question.
Yeah.
Prabhu, if sometimes we are harmed by non-devotees also, should we take it as inspiration? They are inspired by Paramatma Prabhu.
See, you're just dissipating your old karma, Mataji.
Okay. Yes,
Okay. But you go on practicing your devotion service and ask for protection of the Lord.
okay. Thank you so much.
Okay, one. Second, you stay away from such dangerous people. There's no point in you fighting. Okay. See, very simple. Let's make this conclusion very nicely. A person is coming to harm you, Mataji. It's clearly a karmic reaction. Okay. Now, you dissipate it. Now, let's say you respond back to that person by equally harming him. You're creating a new chapter of karmic reaction.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay? Now, what does the Lord say? Lord says, I've created the system where the system will respond. That means the person who harmed you, the system, that is Maya Shakti, will respond back to the person, befitting reply. It is going to happen. Today or tomorrow, it's going to happen. That's how when a thief does a robbery, he's caught by the government, put into jail. See, there's a reaction, there's a reaction. A doctor who mistreats his patient, one day he will lose his license, or he'll be put into jail or put into court cases and pay huge penalties. That means reaction will happen. My point is, you don't be the cause of the reaction. You don't respond because you're beginning a new chapter of karma.
Yes, Prabhu. But suddenly this anger comes out, no, Prabhu.
That's okay. That's
Some
okay.
harsh words will come out.
That's okay. It's okay.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. But when you practice devotion, going on practicing devotion, you see the method you respond will change.
Yes, Prabhu.
Right now we are into evolution mode. We are evolving. So we will have those difficulties. We are not pure devotees yet.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Okay, great. So now from sloka 32 to 44 is only very simple. What is this conversation now? Now what happened now? Parikshit Maharaj caught this Kali. He said, hey Kali, you're the cause of all these religiosity. So as a king, I have the power and the rights to chop your head. Capital punishment for you. But what does the Bhagavatam Dharma says that if someone is called Nirayudapani, that means he's without weapons, he's bereft of anything, he doesn't have anything to protect him, he surrenders. You cannot kill him. So that's what Kali did. Kali just surrendered to the feet of Parikshit Maharaj and he said, I'm sorry. Right? So please protect me. I am your citizen. I am also a citizen of this world. So protect me. So Parikshit Maharaj said, okay. Irreligiosity is represented by four things: gambling, meat eating, illicit activities, and drinking alcohol or intoxication. So Parshvara told Kali that since you are irreligiosity, Kali is irreligion by himself. So you can stay in places wherever there is irreligiosity. Is what he awarded as shelter to Kali. Right? So what was the issue with Kali? He said, hey, come on. You are the ruler of this entire world. How? even though you're ruler of the entire world, Parikshit Maharaj knows everything that is happening in every nook and corner of this world, directly or indirectly. The same thing. How the Lord, we read in sloka number 1, Lord knows something that is happening directly or indirectly. Parikshit Maharaj also knows this. So he says, since you know, you have completely eradicated these acts of irreligiosity in your entire kingdom. That means, wherever you go in the kingdom of Parikshit Maharaj, you will never see someone gambling. You will never see someone doing illicit sex. You will see someone never doing any of these 4 acts of religiosity. So where will I stay? I cannot stay. Because the dharma that he produced, he is dharma personified. Because that's why Parikshit Maharaj was throned by Dharmaraja or Yudhishthira. He is dharma personified. He ensured that there should not be. And he is a great propounder of sannyasis. That means, what did he do? He ensured that their Brahminical class thrived like anything, and they went on spreading religiosity and preaching the aspects of Dharma to the whole world. So, people took shelter of these great rishis and sannyasis and practiced Bhagavad Dharma. So, the whole world was pure under the reign of Parikshit Maharaj. And these 4 religious places that Parikshit Maharaj talked about from Shastra, where Kali can reside, he said, there's no place like that to exist here, and how can I live? So hence, you see, Prabhupada talks about, this one, talk about this one. So I want you to read this purport very detailedly. This is called purport 38. You can please take a note of this, purport number 38. So read the sloka and the purport. So here, Prabhupada is writing that if a country is inflicted with these places of irreligiosity, how they can come out and what are the things they need to do. So he's recommending 4 steps. So these are the steps he is recommending. Okay, you see the steps, right? The first step he recommends 2 compulsory fasting days in a month, if not more austerity. Even from economic point of view, such 2 days of fasting a month in the state will save tons of food, and systems will also act very favorably on the general health of the citizen. So now the second part is all about economy. The first part is, now let's take example of Bangalore, right? Now Bangalore has all religious activities going on everywhere. So now the chief minister is a Vaishnav. Now he wants to change Bangalore to become God conscious, for which Prabhupada recommends. How? First he says is, there should be 2 compulsory days of fasting. That means all the citizens in the city of Bangalore, 2 days in a month they should fast. Like that, Prabhupada is given very brilliantly how a place can be transformed into Vaikuntha. Right? So hence, I request all of you to read this sloka number 38 very detailedly, the purport. You will know how we can transform starting our house to our place. Like that, you can go on. We can make this entire place glorious. Okay? Then I'll come to sloka number 39. Punascha yachamanaya jata rupam adat prabhu tato nritam madam kamam rajo vairam cha panchamam. Translation. The person of Kali asked for something more. Why? He said, hey, in your entire kingdom, there is no places of these 4 religious places. And because of his begging, the king gave permission to live where there is gold. Because wherever there is gold, there is also falsity, intoxication, lust, envy, and enmity. Hiranyakashipu means soft bed and gold. Right? So now you see this place, that is wherever there is gold, there is also falsity, intoxication, lust, enmity, and enmity. Now, what does this mean? So let's discuss. I'm going to take about 10 minutes time. Please bear with me. We'll discuss about this gold and what is it. Okay. Now, how the world evolved from the pre-era to the current era. So in the pre-era, what they said, we will have some form of barter system. The barter system was evolved with currency. So every country came with a currency. And what is this currency? They called what is called as a gold standard. If, for example, if India had 10 tons of gold, then in equal to 10 tons of gold, you can have, first was the gold coins itself. They can exchange gold coins. Then gold coins exchanging was difficult. Then they printed currency. And how much a currency can I build? Equal to 10 tons of gold that I possess. Now let's say Russia has 50 tons of gold. Then that much currency they can print. So the gold became the strength and the standard of an economic strength of a country. But later on, all those violations happen. Now every country prints like anything. When you print more currency than what you need, then it gets misused. That's called bad currency. So hence Prabhupada says, the Sudra should be given all the facilities. You can give facilities of a shelter, boarding and lodging, good prasadam all the time. You can give clothing. You can give all those things, but Prabhupada says, don't give money to a Sudra. Okay, what happens when you give money to Sudra? What's the problem with the Sudra? The Sudra do not have the intelligence to understand Shastric injunction. That means he's more ignorant of the aspects of life. So he's always dependent. Okay, whatever my master tells, I will do. That is a Sudra. So now when you give money to Sudra, what does he do? He may misuse that money in performing these 4 acts because he doesn't know, he is sense gratificatory mode. So he doesn't know the Shastric injunction. So he will use that money in wrong acts. So hence, shelter the Shudra in all aspects, including health, but don't give much money in their hands. So that's why it's also said, when you see beggars on the street, give them prasadam, give them some cloth, no problem, but don't give money too much. They will take that money, they will drink. If they drink, you are the cause of their drinking and you're going to acquire that karma. They will eat non-veg and you're the cause of them eating their sense gratificatory and you will acquire 1/6 of it. So hence we don't give money to people who are ignorant in nature. Instead, give money to the Vaishnavas because he will use it in God conscious. He'll distribute them nicely. Give it to places where the money will be distributed in service of their lordships. That is important. Right? So gold standard was brought into that place. Now, but what happened? Countries became very greedy. People became greedy. They start to acquire more and more gold. Right? In different formats. So you see, that is the cause of the problem. The greed and the envy and the lust increases so much. We have many incidents during the time of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura, where in Gaudiya Mutt, there were a lot of theft and things like going on. So then Prabhupada introduced a standard saying that in our ISKCON temples, there will not be any gold or silver that is used. No, why? No, for example, there's lots of gold and silver that is used for the deities only, no problem, or anywhere, any other purpose. Then the pujari who's there, he doesn't have money, right? He's in poverty. He is getting prasadam, shelter, some dress, and the basic maintenance fees, that's all. But when he alludes for that money, he will steal. And who's the cause of him stealing? Us. So hence Prabhupada made as a standard, do not use any gold or silver. Sometimes devotees give donation of gold and silver. What they done is they either kept in the locker for a future use, or they immediately convert into currency, and currency is engaged in service of the lordships. Okay? So, at home, you can have gold. Prabhupada said one should eat in a golden plate because there will be times there will be war. At that time, your currency all will go waste. Gold is the one that will help. He said land will help, agriculture land will help you, gold will help you. So he said basic things like plates or something like that use with gold because sometimes it will become handy. So use gold as a currency for the purpose or the utility it needs to be used, not in the form of greed. Having tons of gold, having this, that, unlimited gold, that will cause the problems of enviness, falsity, prostitution, envy, enmity, everything comes. You should all read the pastimes of Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami. They had so much of gold coins with them. What happened? He gave it away. And in that one scenario, you will see that in the night, in the forest, when Sanatana Goswami is having prasad, he knew that that guard is going to kill him the night because he's possessing gold. What he did? My life is important. He gave away all the gold to him. You keep it, leave me alone. Right? So you see, gold is useful as well as dangerous. So hence, Parikshit Maharaj said, you can live in a place where gold, because gold symbolizes that also. Okay? So what did Kali do? Kali understood that and took an opportunity. Now, this is very important to understand opportunity. If we think that, oh, Prabhuji, I'm chanting nicely, I'm always in remembrance of the Lord, I'm reading Bhagavatham, I'm doing everything, I have the strength, so I'll go into places of these 4 irreligious places, nothing will happen to me because my friends called me, or situation warranted, or what it may be. Kali can attack you, even though you are practicing devotion. Best example is Parikshit. Even though Parikshit is considered to be a phenomenal king, but as a king, he has to wear mukut or krita, and that's made of gold. So what did Kali did? He went and sat on his krita. So that led to the fall of Parikshit Maharaj. Right? So hence you can see that these are the aspects of Kali, the aspects of the acts of Kali are very dangerous. Even without hesitation, we should completely stay away from them. They may allure us, but stay away. If you want to become serious in your devotion service, right? So all these slokas, they only talk about that. So you can read nicely, and then you can understand, what is Kali wanting to do, what is the position of Parikshit Maharaj, and how Kali surrendered to Parikshit. Okay? So in the next chapter, we will be starting from next week. It is a very serious chapter. That chapter has a lot of detailing. That chapter is deliverance of Parikshit Maharaj. Okay, what all events happen? Why a particular event happened in a particular manner? We'll discuss them in detail. Okay? So I will end this thing today. Any of you have questions, we can talk.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes,
Dandavat
Prabhu.
Pranam.
Yes, Prabhu.
Just for curiosity, I am asking. Suppose Parikshit Maharaj was wearing silver crown, Kali would have not affected them, Prabhu.
Yeah, true. Go back to the discussion we had. Lord had planned for Parikshit Maharaj. He had a greater service that he had to do. So Lord said, it's time, Parikshit, you've done your duty, come back home. So Lord will enact that pastime.
Okay.
Okay? And how did that pastime enacted? So even though he said these places of religiosity, Kali can live, and he related gold to that, and Kali concluded gold is a place I can live. And where was ghost is existing? Right on the body and the head of Parikshit Maharaj. So once Kali entered, what did he do? He looked for an opportunity for Parikshit Maharaj to make that mistake. So when he went out, performing his duties, he was feeling thirsty. He went to the house of Shamika Rishi. And he found a situation where he got offended. If Kali's influence was not there, Parikshit would have never got offended by that situation with Shamika Rishi, which we will discuss in the next chapter very detailedly. And that situation of cursing, situation of disrespectfulness, duty bound, all those things won't arise. Right?
Okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
Somewhere I read, or maybe I heard, I don't know, that on that particular day, Parikshit Maharaj went for hunting,
Huh.
he chose to wear the crown worn by Jarasandha. Because every day he wears a crown.
Huh.
And this Jarasandha's crown, because he was a very evil man,
Huh.
and he wore that, it became very advantageous for Kali because he came and sat on the crown. And that's why Parikshit Maharaja got misled. And he put the snake around the sadhu.
Okay.
That is the influence of the crown worn by Jarasandha, who was an evil man by himself.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
he had worn his own crown, it would have been a sattvic crown, which
He would
only
have
in goodness it has been.
yeah, he would have avoided the situation.
Yeah, I don't know how far it is true, Prabhu. This is what I heard.
This Jarasandha story, I don't know. I'll have to validate it, whether it is perfectly correct or wrong. Because in the purports I have not seen. If it is there, we will take it. And I'll just revalidate just Jarasandha crown. Hmm?
Okay, Prabhu.
Okay, good, Mataji. Yeah, so we are influenced indirectly or indirectly. That's why remembering the Lord at all times is considered to be the greatest of devotion.
Yes,
At all
Prabhu.
times, remember the pastimes of the Lord. You will be taken care. Prabhupada did declare. It is not Shravanam, it's not Kirtanam. Remembrance of the Lord is considered to be the topmost of devotion service. Topmost.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
For practical purposes, should women reduce their collection of gold and wear less gold?
Utility is the principle. Whatever you need, you collect. Whatever you need out of greed, avoid it.
Okay.
When once there was a discussion with one of the devotee, I said, do not display too much. Whatever is just is bare necessity, we should
Yeah, have. Don't be against gold. I'm not saying you to be against gold. Whatever you need.
But I removed
There, use them.
this gold, and then I said, then she said, don't you see Prabhupada wearing the gold ring? I said, bare necessity we can wear, I feel.
Yeah, you can.
So, and that's what
Nothing wrong. See, gold is also a representation of Lakshmi, no? So you should understand the contextual meaning. You cannot understand that in a meaning according to your convenience. Right? So that's not the right way to understand.
Not rings for all 10 fingers, maybe.
Correct. I've seen many people wearing 5 rings, 10 rings and 10 fingers. I said, Riya, what's around? Each ring is big. Recently also we met someone, no? With that. We met someone, no, wearing that 10. One pawnbroker, we met him. We saw him wearing like that. I was shocked. And there are many people in the Middle East region, no? These kings and many of these guys, they wear gold like crazy.
Not in Middle East and all. Here in India only you can see many actors, actresses.
They wear. Okay. So that's what it is. Yeah. Utility is the principle. Remember that all the time. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. So now we'll just summarize. So the next class, what we will be reading, we'll be reading the entire sequence of events and the philosophy behind why a certain act happened, right? So we'll read how Parikshit Maharaj met Shamika Rishi, what happened, how the message was delivered, and how he left his body. So all these things we will conclude in the next chapter. So with the next chapter, I think it's almost the conclusion of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1. Or there's one more. I think Krishna returns, something's there.
Chapter 19 is there, Prabhu.
19 is there, correct.
Yes.
That is the appearance of Sukadeva Goswami, correct. Okay. So we will read that and then we will be ending at this one. Now at the end of it, I'm preparing a quiz for all of you. So right from chapter 1 to chapter 19, enter Canto 1, we will do quiz. And I'll try to give out those question papers to each of you. You can take the quiz at your own pace in your house. for a week or 2 weeks. Then you can submit it. So we'll try to do that for you so that you will know. And you can refer. It's not a closed quiz, it's an open quiz. You can take the book, refer that book, and then try to answer all these things. So when you answer all these things, you will know how much you learned. Okay? So I'll try to get the quiz across to all of you.
Wonderful activity,
Yes,
Prabhu.
Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay? But you should do,
Hmm.
not taking the quiz paper and sleeping at home.
We will do it and submit,
do it.
Prabhu. We will submit, Prabhu.
Do it. You're not doing for myself, you're doing for yourself. That's how you will see, okay, hey, Canto 1, I read all these things, this situation, that situation. And then the quiz also has a set of slokas. Okay, so try to mug up all the slokas and you can quote the slokas in your preaching. Okay, and today's 2 sloka, I would strongly recommend all of you please mug it up.
Yes.
Sure, Prabhu. Sure, Prabhu.
Okay, thank you. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai,
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai,
Jai.
Gurudev ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande.
Hare Hare.
Pancha Kalpataru, Vishya Kripa Sindhu Vyevacha. Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Vaishnava Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Tat Sat. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavad Pranam, Prabhu.
Pranam, Prabhu.
Once Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare
Rama,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu, and Hare Krishna, Dandavad Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
నాకు గోల్డ్ గురించి డౌట్ నేను ఇప్పటి నుంచి కాదు మొదటి నుంచి చూస్తాను నేను కరెక్ట్ గా ఎంతో మంది నాకే ఎస్పెషల్లీ కార్ గురించి ఎంత అయిపోయింది